Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lilian Tahmasian for those My name is Lilian Tahmasian for those of you that don't know me. Hello. What do you guys think of this new setup? A tiny bit of a different camera angle. Let me know what you think. I actually just got a haircut today and I think it's the shortest I've ever been. Today I'm going to be doing a story time video on something that I've wanted to do for so many years, but I just thought, you know what, I don't want to expose anyone, even though I wish I could. You know what, I thought, this is my life, so I'm going to share it with you. Please don't forget to leave your comments or your thoughts below, or if anything like this has happened to you. Which I hope it hasn't. Let me know in the comments below and let's get into it. Let's go. I'm going to start off this story by setting the scenario and the picture for you guys. This happened around 2011, 2012. About to turn 21 at the time. I was quite naive. Didn't have the experience I guess I do now. If that happened now, I mean it wouldn't happen now. I am such a talker, so if people ask me something or they call me to talk to me, I will chat with them for hours because I just love to talk. Obviously it's my job. So what happened was I was working at a retail store one day, and from what I remember, this guy had gotten my number and he had told me that he was my cousin's best friend. I have cousins in America. I was obviously back home in Australia. This guy had called me and said, I just want to get to know you because I'm going to come over there on a business trip and I would love to learn more about Australia and where I can go and visit and kind of touristy things like that. So we started talking and I thought, you know what, if my cousin is one of his really good friends, obviously he must be a really nice guy. My cousin's an amazing guy, so he must be a great guy. He's probably really nice like him, normal, decent guy.
Joke's on you.
We started talking and as I mentioned, I'm a talker, so I can talk for a long time. So we were discussing what he could do when he came to visit me and the places that we can take him as a group. We started talking about what he did and he told me his business was about creating like those metal gates for those big houses. That was one of his businesses. He wanted to open up a cafe. There was like a lot of things. My memory is a bit hazy because this did happen a few years ago, but I'm telling you guys what I remember. I started to kind of get really close because I was helping him and he started calling me more and more and we became like really good friends. I realized pretty much he would call me every other day and then became every day. I guess, you know, he started liking me. He portrayed himself as the sweetest guy ever. Just like little things that we would discuss, like I was like, oh, how tall are you? He would say, oh, I'm taller than your cousin, or I'm as tall as your cousin, and my cousin's extremely tall. I was like, oh, okay. Like just little things like that. I realized he was quite controlling off the bat because I had never met him in real life, obviously, and he wasn't in the country and I was dating other guys. Like I would just go on dates here and there. And he wouldn't like that at all, and he would be like, oh, you're lucky I'm letting you go. And it's so funny when you're young and naive, you think, oh, that's like the cutest thing, he obviously must really like me. He told me, I'm coming there for business, I'm not going to be able to, you know, kind of have that much spare time, but if I do, we'll definitely hang out. I'm like, yeah, sure, that sounds good. So he came and I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I didn't know what was going on. I mean, I had developed what I thought was feelings for him from the person or the persona that he portrayed himself to be. We went to pick him up, me and my friend went to pick him up to go grab a bite to eat, and I clearly remember literally within the first 10 minutes of me meeting him and my best friend at the time meeting him as well, he was like, I'm gonna get married to Lilian, we're gonna get engaged, you have nothing to do with this. He would start causing fights and my friend was like, you don't even know her, you just met, but just because you guys spoke on the phone here and there for like, you know, a few weeks or whatever, you have no idea who she is. In my head I thought that was a bit odd, but I was like, you know what, like this is probably like he's an American guy, they're probably different, they're whatever, you know. I didn't really put much detail into it, which I wish I would have. He had no idea about like anything in Australia, no idea the people, whatever. He weaved himself in the community in an instant. Like he started being friends with all my friends very quickly, very spontaneously. I realized people would come up to me and be like, oh, Lilian, is this true what this guy said? Is this true what he said about this? Is it true what he said about that? And I'm like, where are you getting this information from? And I realized it would circle back to him. This really sweet guy that I had known for several years had a crush on me. And I really liked him as a friend too. I just didn't see him that way at the time. And he went up to this particular guy and was like, Lilian doesn't like you, she talks bad about you all the time. I didn't find that out until years later anyway. So like that was an example of what he would do. He would create fights with my friends. He would say this person said this to one person, go and say something else to another person. Like it was insane. I didn't realize that at the time because he was such a funny guy and he had this great personality is what we thought. People started slowly realizing how things didn't kind of match with what he said, his business, and he would literally come to my house on his breaks with like a suit and holding folders and be like, oh, I've had a hard day at work, I've been working, I've had so many seminars and meetings and we should grab coffee. And I was like, oh, the poor guy, you know, has been working. Let's go grab coffee. We'll go with a big group of people. There were gifts everywhere. He gave a gift to my mum. Like, you don't even know who my mum is. My dad, my sister, my brother, my best friends. He would send flowers to people. And I'm like, how much money are you spending? He would hire a boat. And no, I want to. It's my holiday. The first night he landed, it was someone's birthday. And back then, when we had just turned 18, obviously that's like the drinking age in Australia. That's like the clubbing age. A massive group of people, like the entire community there, we would go out. And it was always someone's birthday, always a celebration. One night it was someone's birthday, we all went, and we took him with us. We're like, you know, just come with our big group of people. I had gone to the bathroom, I believe. He grabbed my friend, and my friend literally never makes me forget this. He grabbed my girlfriend and it was like, where's Lilian? Why would you not keep your eye on her? She could be anywhere. And my friend was like, she went to the bathroom. He said, why wouldn't you go with her? What if the guy spoke to her? And I realized that was not normal. It got to the point where every time I would go out to someone's birthday or something that I couldn't take a whole group with me, he would constantly call me 20, 40 times. He would call my best friend 20, 40 times. The time I was at a going away dinner and he had called us so many times. I was like, this isn't normal. He's not my boyfriend. He's not even my close friend. I just met the guy. I'm trying to be nice. What is he doing? So I ignored his phone calls. And he had called my godbrother and said, I've had this massive accident. I literally got hit in the stomach. I'm in hospital. Lilian needs to come to see me. And my godbrother called me and I'm like, listen, I am 100% positive this guy is lying. He's not in the hospital after a massive accident. That is not true. I said, you know what, I'm putting two legs in one shoe. I'm not moving. That's a saying. And what do you know, when my godbrother went into the hospital, we're all in the car, I'm not going in, he just wants this, he's seeking attention. What do you know, it was a lie. He did not have an accident. He just put himself in the hospital for having severe stomach pains, for us to go visit him and for us to pretty much leave the restaurant or the club. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, why? During this time period, I felt so suffocated. He literally was a sociopath. I wish I was lying. Let me talk to anyone. He cut off all my friends. He would pretty much want to isolate me so I can just be his. It was just a very weird time period. We just like try to buy everyone's affection through money. I started telling people, you guys, I think there's something weird with this guy. I'm telling you, I don't feel 100% comfortable. I'm telling you, it's a bit sketchy, like it's a bit shady. And he knew details so well. If he didn't know something about someone, he would make sure he would find that information. He knew I wanted a Range Rover at the time, and he was like, I bought you a Range Rover, it's coming from America. And I'm like, why would you? Firstly, who are you? Secondly, like, why are you trying to buy people's affection? Like, who buys a car? Well, that's what he told me. It was insane. People at the time were like, just give him a chance, like, you never know. I'm like, firstly, he doesn't even live in this country. Like, it's weird. One day he came over and I literally felt suffocated. I told my mom, I'm like, Mom, like, this guy, like, I'm scared of him. Like, it shouldn't be to the stage that I'm scared of someone. I should not be scared of a friend or whoever you are. I should not feel threatened. I should not feel frightened when you're around me. It's so, because your gut instinct is always true, no matter what happens. And my mum was like, you know, he's here on a holiday, just be nice to him until he leaves. I got to a stage that I'm like, I felt like my mom didn't believe me. Like, not that she didn't believe me, she was just like, you're being a bit over dramatic. So I told my dad, I remember I told my dad in a room, I was like, Dad, like, do you guys want me to get raped for you to understand? I do not feel safe around this guy. I don't feel safe. I don't like his aura. There's something weird with this guy. And when I said that to my dad, he like, something clicked. He's like, no, if Ian doesn't feel safe, like, that's it. He needs to leave. So we had this big argument, and it was so funny. It was him, my mom, my dad, my best friend, my brother. You need to like leave me alone. You need to leave my house. Stop coming over. While filming, I also forgot to mention, he also told me, if I kill you and I throw your body in the water, no one will find you for months. And that is when things got real. Leave, just get out. Leave the country if you want. Like, just go back. Like, I don't know, whatever business you have to do, get it done and leave. When we were having that argument, I'm like, Mom, he needs to leave the country. He needs to leave. He needs to get out of our house. He would just come whenever he felt like it, which that's not normal. His mom had called my mom and said, if anything happens to my child, you're responsible for it because of your daughter. He's traveled all the way to Australia. And my mom was like, excuse me, my daughter had no idea who your son was. He apparently came here on a business trip, so she was just trying to show him around and be nice to him with her friends. You definitely have the wrong idea. Like, he has a complete wrong idea. And his time was coming to an end from his business trip and he had to leave. So I had the thought that, let me go to the airport with my friend and just make sure he gets on that flight, because I had this weird feeling he wasn't going to leave the country. No, I think he was meant to get there at 12. Me and my friend got there at 9, but they're really early. His flight was around 2 p.m. and I remember thinking it was 9, and I'm like, what if he never shows up? And my friend's like, you're crazy. Like, you just make scenarios in your head. Like, just wait. I'm sure he's going to come and leave the country. I'm like, okay. I remember calling my mum at around 10 a.m. I was like, Mum, what if he doesn't show up? Like, what if he just doesn't leave? My mum's like, Lilian, don't be silly. He's paid so much for his flight back home, running a business. Like, he's not going to stay. It comes like 10, 10:30, 11, 11:30, 12. Was meant to be there at 12 because you're meant to go there a few hours before. 1 p.m. he wasn't there, 1:30 he wasn't there. At the time I was like, I think it was a Qantas. I was like, Qantas, like, what if this guy doesn't show up? Like, what's the latest he can leave on the flight? And they go, oh ma'am, he's already missed his flight, he can't leave today. He needs to leave. Like, he's not a good person, he needs to leave the country. 2 p.m. comes, 2:30 comes. I knew he wasn't going to leave the country that day. He comes like with his trolley. He's like, oh, I was in so much traffic. I'm like, really? On a Monday at like 2 p.m. there was a lot of traffic, really? You live in Australia, this is not America. I didn't believe a word that he said. I'm like, okay, well, find a different flight. Apparently there were no flights. I remember it was like around February this time because it was like Valentine's Day weekend as well. I'm like, okay, then, okay, well, have a good time. Like, enjoy your stay, enjoy your flight back home tomorrow. We're leaving. And my friend was like, hey, you can't be rude. Let's just figure out what we're gonna do. Let's take him back. Let's book another flight. Like, let him book another flight. Everything will be fine. I'm normally a very extremely nice person, very understanding, I like to think. At that time, I was like, you guys don't understand. He's lying. He did this on purpose. No one was believing me. I was like, you know what? Let's book a hotel for you somewhere, because he was staying at his family friend's house, which we found out the family friend didn't even know who he was, but they just took him in because it was like this little Armenian boy and they just felt bad for him. Literally, the person's house he was staying at had no idea who he was, apparently. Does that not ring many bells? We found that later. I'm like, okay, let's stop at every hotel going down to where we live, in the suburb where we live, and see if they have availabilities. I kid you not, I got out of Sydney Airport, every hotel, motel, holiday inn, hotel, motel, holiday inn. We stopped at every single place. Is there an accommodation for one person? No, 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 because it's Valentine's Day weekend. Actually, it got to a stage that I wouldn't be rude directly to him, but at that time I was like, no, find yourself somewhere to stay. You're not coming back in my suburb. Like, you are lying, you lied. And my friend was like pinching me like, you don't be rude. I'm like, no, he's lying. Hello. This massive argument, and my mum had this mentality that, Lilian, in order for me to keep you safe, I need to have my eyes on him at all times. He wouldn't leave our house, and instead of, you know, calling the police or doing something for him to get out at that time, my mum was like, Lilian, just leave for 2 days. Let me organize his flights and then you can come back. And I had to start uni the day after. I actually remember I went to my friend's house with a toothbrush and a notebook, literally like this. I was so like scared and I didn't want to be in my house because he was there. I literally went to a house like this. This guy would not leave my house, and my parents had a chat with him like, listen, I think you got the wrong impression here. I think you got the wrong impression of Lilian. It got to the stage he was crying to my mum like, I really like your daughter, I want to spend time with her. He would send my mum flowers to her workplace. I've never seen a grown man cry until then. I really had not. His day had come, thank God. He was finally leaving. I think he stayed for another few days. My mum had her eyes on him at all times, crying in front of me like, give me a chance, like, we can make this work. I'm sorry for everything I've done, please forgive me, and I want to talk to you. Let me have a final talk before I leave. And I was like, he's leaving the country, what does he have to say? He confessed to me that the whole business thing was a lie. He had come to Australia for me.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Several years passed, and I remember thinking the day I moved to America, like, my biggest fear is bumping into this guy. I would not want to bump into this guy. God forbid I ever see him. Funny enough, my sister was in the same college as him, and I'm like, Sarah, if you ever talk to him, look at him. She's like, Lilian, are you joking? Like, he's crazy. I'm like, yeah, thank God. You know that. Other people don't know that. My sister was in this very awkward situation recently, like about a year and a half ago, I want to say, or 2 years ago, that they were all in a group environment and he was there. He was the college's president. Can you talk about great acting skills? He was introducing himself to everyone and my sister played dumb. So what was your name? And he's like, Sarah, I know who you are. I've stayed at your house. I was with your sister. And my sister was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea who you are. Recently, a few months ago, he's gone up to one of Sarah's close friends and said, oh, I know why Sarah's not talking to me. It's because I came to Australia. I lied to her sister. I slept with her and I left. Which dream of his? That never happened. Like, the moral of the story is, guys, not all guys, some guys will go around and make stories up like that to get into your head and try and manipulate you and try and control you. I had just met this guy. We were barely friends. So the fact that this guy was so controlling, overprotective, like, that is a sickness that I think legit some people have. And you, instead of like arguing with it, which I wish I just never argued, I just wish I had the police take care of it. I don't know what I was thinking, but I mean, I was so young, I was so naive. Ladies, if anyone, or guys, if anyone is that controlling of you, period, leave. You cannot be in a friendship, let alone a relationship like that. And for someone to turn around and sexually shame you for something that you haven't even done, like we never did anything like that. Like, are you serious with your entire life? Which dream of yours, buddy? No, that never happened. I was contemplating on making this video, but then I thought, I was having a chat with one of my friends and she's like, so many people probably go through this same thing in this day and age, like now. And that was like before Instagram. You need to be so careful with who you talk to and who you trust and who you let in your inner circle and in your life. And majority of people, they're trying to get one thing and one thing only. And if that's not what you're looking for, you need to protect yourself. And it's so funny, when I first moved here, a lot of guys were like, oh, you have so many walls up. I wonder why. I guess the moral of this story was, be careful. Like, make sure if your friends say it doesn't sit right with me, or if your parents, like, I feel like parents are really good at like detecting people, and if they sense something, just take it and run. Mind you, I found out years later my cousin was like, the weirdest thing happened when I came here and I heard his side of the story. They were never best friends, they were never close. He got really close to my cousin right before coming to Australia because he had an initiative to be close to me. I just thought I'd make this to, warn you guys, just be careful with who you let in and who you talk to. Scary things can happen like that. And that was my story time video. Oh, I'm so thirsty. But I hope you guys really liked that video. Let me know if you like more videos like this. I love you guys so much. Please stay positive, please stay safe, and keep smiling. Until next time, have a good day.